Oh, what am I doing? Coffee. Hello. There we go. So, welcome, Midnight Coders. Sorry for the technical delay, a little bit of a delay. As you notice, more space for activities. I've got a better camera. My last camera was a 720p thing that sort of was zoomed in and kind of weird and kind of, I don't know. I didn't like it. It wasn't really a high-def camera. Now I've got this new camera, 1080p. You can see my Doctor Who paraphernalia, and you can see a little more in the room. You can see the chair where my cats sort of take over. Got two in there right now. Yeah, better camera, better quality. Sure, that's how that works. Alright, so today's video, we're diving back into the old RuneHero. This is our fun-loving bot. Where's this gonna open? We're diving back into... Ooh, sorry about that. Just looking to do the share with this now that it's going. I do apologize. Oop. Just doing a share with that as well. Here we go. Alright, so our Discord bot, or the... So last we left off, I had sorry about that. Last we left off, I was picking at, or we were picking at, making it so that the hero could equip and unequip items. So this was finished. This was completed. We did get this this done. I don't believe I did it on camera. I believe I managed to get it done off camera. So let's see if we can move my head out of the way and take a look at the Discord bot. So I just died, but if I come into my hero, oh, if I first off turn the program on, let me just turn this all on. Because of course nothing works if you don't have it on. Speaking of having things turned on, let's make sure that everybody's got their coffee cups full and before we dive on into our code. This was such a bad start to my stream today, guys. I do apologize for being late. I had my alarm was off by an hour. That forgot to get set, and then On top of that, once I got my animals all fed, I of course started getting physically sick and throwing up, and then I finally get the live stream set up after a struggle of a half an hour, and I go to turn on my staging, see what things look like, make sure everything looks good, and of course, because I got a brand new camera, things weren't okay. So I wound up having the camera for about 30 seconds, and then it died. Then I had to reboot my PC, rearrange where things were plugged in, and oh, it was just a nightmare. So I do apologize for being late today, guys. It was not intentional. It was definitely a rough morning. That being said, today's live stream is going to be a little bit off the cuff, as I did not have my pre-time to sort of straighten things out and figure out what I'm doing for the stream and line things up and yada 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 yada. So today is going to be kind of an off-the-cuff event that we're gonna see how that goes. So I apologize if anything seems sporadic or everywhere, but today's stream I don't really know what we're gonna pick at, because I've got the point where I can see my backpack and what's in it. If I go to my gear tab, I can, for example, take off a piece of equipment, take off a leather body. You'll see there that it came off. If I go into my backpack, I guess that's what we're working on today. Okay. So when I took it off, I don't see it in my inventory. So now if I go to my gear tab and try to equip, it's gone. Okay, that's fun. Why did that just disappear? If the backpack is full, it should tell you an error. And if it successfully added the item to your backpack, it's then supposed to then attempt to then unequip the item. So only if it added it to my backpack should it have taken it off here. Evidently, it did not add it to my backpack. I also realized that I'm still big-faced on the screen. Stick me down here in the corner. There we go. Stick me in the corner. We'll get rid of Discord for the moment, and we'll do some debugging. So, I get my backpack. I check and see if my backpack is full, and if it is, I log it, as well as I reply that your bag is full, you can't do anything. Otherwise, if I add the item to the backpack, which this is a Boolean, so if the backpack item was successfully added, is then when I make the unequip, which is what you saw when it disappeared out of my equipment. So somewhere in this add method, where it's coming through and attempting to add and goes through and comes down into here, which is this method, this all comes through true. So that tells me that it's gone through the chain, it's been added, and then we called this update, which should have gone into the player's backpack and set all of the items equal to that of this backpack. So, And then, of course, it updates the record, which is just basically returning whether or not it's been sent off to the back end and saved. Okay. So somewhere along the lines, it's not adding the item. So I'm going to make a breakpoint here, and I'm going to make a breakpoint here, I guess. I'm going to want to stick one on my... we're going to have to rerun this in debugging mode, but I'm going to want to stick one there. I'm going to want to stick one here, and I'm going to want to stick one here. So I'm sticking the breakpoints. For those of you that don't know what breakpoints are, how they work, and all this other fun stuff, you're going to find a little lesson here. We're going to do some debugging, which is a key thing that you do in Java. Like, you debug left, right, and center, upside down, and backwards. You're debugging a lot, especially when you're refactoring and trying to find problems. So I'm also going, so I want to stick these little red dots, or these breakpoints, at specific lines where I want my code to pause. So for those of you that are unaware of debugging, when you run a project, you have within IntelliJ, there's an option to run it normally or run it in the debugger. So I'm going to switch up, because we're using the bot. I'm going to switch up to the bot, and I'm going to rerun the bot with debug mode attached. And what this is going to do is, now whenever the code goes to execute, and it goes line by line by line, once it hits a breakpoint, it's going to then pause. Going to stop the program. Everything's going to be held up, but it's going to then give me, or us, a view down here that's going to, on the right hand side, show us all of the variables. So you can picture this like taking a snapshot or a picture of the current frame that your application is running at, and you can see all of the variables that are related to what you're doing. So in our case, I want to know, when I go to the gear tab, I click on unequip something. For example, I'm going to unequip a pair of studded leather chaps. I am running this in debug. Well, absolutely nothing happened. That's interesting. So this comes up, removed an item. Let's trace this down. So this is going through the whole backpack add item in order to have reached this printout. So I'm going to put a breakpoint. Apparently I can't put breakpoints on if statements. Apparently I can't add breakpoints here. What? Okay, we're going to rerun this in debug mode. That's weird. I used to be able to... Yeah, there we go. What the hell? I was going to say I used to be able to stick these on here. So I want to be able to see here if I'm adding an item. And when I call this add item, and I come through here, I am going to pause on item quality and return, because I also want to see that. So now if I unequip an item, and the only thing I have equipped right now is a bronze helmet. So if I unequip that bronze helmet, Okay, did debugging change in IntelliJ or what? Huh? Normally, if I'm running this program in debug mode, so confused. Was I running the wrong part in debug? Oh, well, whatever. We're gonna find out. Now I'm gonna go to equip, and I'm gonna equip a pair of leather chaps, and I'm going to equip a bronze helmet. Yeah, that worked fine. So equipping my items works perfectly fine. It's only the unequipping aspect that seems to be an issue. So if I unequip a bronze helmet, okay, now I'm just getting frustrated. Why is breakpoints not working anymore? Like, literally. Why are these not working? Here, unequip leather chaps. It literally prints the text that my breakpoint should have broke. But all of these are... See, I am so confused on... Did IntelliJ break their debugger? See, okay, so IntelliJ recently put out an update. I think I'm on version... version am I on? Yeah, I'm on 25... I'm on 2025.3. And it's as if my breakpoints don't work anymore. They did some magical updates to their debugger, and... oh, fuck's sakes. Okay, so... It seems like JetBrains broke their debugger. That's... fucking lovely. So, time to trace this the old-fashioned way without debugging tools. This is gonna be frustrating, guys. Alright, so we're going to do this the old-fashioned way, where we just stick a whole bunch of logs everywhere and just watch what prints out. Oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why. Update the backpack record, that's not what I'm looking for. So we come in here, we add the item. So let's add a logger. So now, since my debugging's not working, we're just gonna rerun this guy in regular mode. And hi, kitty. Come on. Cat wanted to come up and say hello. Wave hi. Say hi to the peoples. Yeah, there's people up there. See the green? See the red dot? You like red dots? Look at the red dot. Look at the red dot. Look at the red dot. Hello. Yeah, you're terrified. Okay. Alright, so our next thing that we need to do is throw in a few more logs, I think. No, let's just try it. So let's go into unequip. There is nothing to unequip. Alright, so let's equip a pair of chaps. Now let's unequip the same pair of chaps. Okay, so... What? Oh, you know I hate you. You know I hate you. Okay, so we're gonna switch all of these debugs to infos. Today's just not my day, guys. Like, for anything. Alright, so that adds it. And this frustrates me. These debugs printed out perfectly fine. But yet my other debug messages that I got going through here are not printing out. So let's try to unequip those chaps. I'm done. That's it. Fuck's sakes. Are you kidding me? This debug message gets printed. It's printed no problem. What am I doing in here? Okay, and this log is coming from the hero client class. Okay. And then into the backpack where I'm actually logging some of this shit. This is coming from... This is coming from SLF4J. Okay, or this is coming from Lombok. So just give me a second. Get rid of that. Because now I've got... Now where is this logger coming from? The hero client. Okay, so now it's coming from the right one. So... The downside of having too many loggers. See if that makes a difference. We'll see if this makes a difference. Debugging at its finest. And apparently I'm all out of pants. So now we gotta turn on our dashboard. We're gonna jump into our dashboard. I'm gonna go into my account and I need to add some stuff to my Really? Oh, my search is not working. Cool, 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 cool. I think these are 80. My save's not working. Really? What? Really? What if I just switched this to 80? Would that make a difference? Still gonna say your torn pages, that's funny. Okay. Well, that sort of worked. I could have just came in here and edited this, but whatever. So now I got leather chaps on. Now if I unequip said leather chaps, oh, I'm getting so frustrated. That unequipped them, but did not print messages. Getting very frustrated. Getting very, very, very frustrated. So in here, when we like, I'm not even getting this. Like, I'm not even getting this freaking message. Adding item to backpack. I just get removed an item. So. Okay, so just out of curiosity, we're gonna stop everything. I'm gonna go into Gradle. Build, is it? Let's run a clean to just clean up our project. I'm getting super frustrated. Okay. So things are clean. We're squeaky clean now, guys. We're squeaky clean. So let's turn on the back end. We're so clean that now we can't find the... You're so squeaky clean, you can't find the main method. What? What about the bot? Oh my god, what about the dashboard? Ah! Ah! I'm done. Okay, so we're gonna run a fresh build. Oh, this has been a day, people. Right. Project built. And I run it. Okay. Really? Now you can't go because this JDA is null. So if I come into my bot and I make a new bot here where we... maybe it's because I'm not saying that. But I'm I'm saying... Here, if I say this, RuneHero.get RuneHero bot, which is going to essentially initialize the bot. Now there's this init method. This init method, where we'll go to RuneHero. So this here takes the bot and then calls init. Init comes in, tries to set up API to build the JDA builder. Okay. And then we call this, which is to get this. This comes through, and if it's null, the API is null, it initializes it, which it shouldn't happen, because we should be initializing the API and turning all this on from the get-go. And it was working just fine. You all saw me playing the damn game. Now I'm magically all of a sudden... Okay, so if I try to run that, I run 2. What? What? Why is there 2 running? Both on 88. What? Okay, whatever. Discord bot, and we're gonna get 2 of you too as well. Cool. That's interesting. If I run you, we get 2 of you. And you load this time. Alright, so something funky is going on with IntelliJ. So now if I try to equip some items, I've got nothing to equip. Let's do this again. If I reload this, legs, since for some reason I can't search anymore, I need to put in an ID. We're gonna say 80. Saved it. So now if I go to unequip, I'm gonna take off a pair of chaps. And now I get my messages. So was my stuff seriously just holding on to everything that was compiled and all the classes that were never rebuilt? Because now I get all of my messages. And if I go to my backpack, I now have a pair of leather chaps. So now it's working as expected. Turns out I didn't need to do anything. I just needed to rebuild. So, before I got this IntelliJ update to 2025.3, I used to be able to just do shit. Like I just used to be able to work, and everything was fine. Now I don't even know what's going on. I got these double applications running when I tried to run one, like... I don't know. I don't know, guys. Things are weird. Things are weird. Things are weird. But now we can go back and we can unequip and equip items. So I can come in and I can equip my leather chaps. They go on. They come out of my backpack. If I come back in and I unequip my leather chaps, they go back into my backpack. So there we go. Equipping and unequipping equipment is now a thing, but I do believe auto-equipping still breaks stuff. Let's pop over to Varrock. Let's jump into the store. I'm gonna go pick up on Hovac again. And we are going to buy a leather studded body, or studded leather body. Now our auto equip feature seems to have thought, I can equip that. So let's go back into our... First off, let's go back into our backpack. We see that it's not in our backpack. I am showing this, right? Yeah, okay. So it's not in our backpack. I go into our gear. You'll see that our gear has been pooched. So somewhere along the lines of auto-equip. So let's figure out where auto-equip is and what breaks it. Alright. Auto-equip. Ba, 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 ba. These are now right, I know that for a fact. I went through one day and manually changed all 210 items. Kind of a nightmare. So this should be printing out when I go to equip, or when I go to purchase an item, which doesn't look like it did. The only thing that looks like it did... Yeah, the only thing that looks like it printed was down here. New item, matches player class. Which is this. So, hero, equipment. Where it should be trying to equip item into slot and equipment. I feel like this might be wrong. Okay, so that method might be the wrong way to go about this. So I don't think I should be using equip item. I don't think I should be using that. I think I need to use different method. Pretty sure my equip option is wrong. So if I come down here and I have my unequip method. Okay. And equip selected item, I have this boolean for equipping an item now. So okay. So I have a hero equipment client. So where was my auto equip at again? Snow. Selection. Worn equipment. This is used in here. Hero backpack. You have the hero equipment client. Okay. So you have the... So I just want to say equip ID, and the Discord ID. Okay, so if I auto equip. So equipped, if I just change that up to this, is item ID. ID. Amount. The Discord ID. Oh. Okay. Okay. I can technically skip out of that because I'm updating the hero record. Sending it anyway, so there's that, okay. So the same thing up here. If I equipped it, I don't need that. So I'm technically there. Which means I don't need that. Okay, so let's rerun the Discord bot. Sorry guys, you didn't even see me do those changes, my bad. So we're gonna go and explore. We're gonna go back into Hovak's shop, and I'm gonna purchase a pair of studded body. Now this claims that the auto equip worked, so let's come back, go into our hero, go into our gear, and clearly it didn't. And it definitely did not go into our backpack. Okay. Is this again due to the not clean? Is this also due to the not cleanliness bit? Like, this is gonna get frustrating. And then that can't find it. Like, what is up with this? Typically, when I run the project, it goes through and does the build for me. But it seems like right now, it's not doing the building aspect. So it's because now, if I try to run this, it'll run fine. Dashboard will run fine. Hero will run fine. I'm still getting these double configurations, which I have no idea why, but everything seems to run fine. So let's go back. Again, I realize you can't see that bit. So we're gonna go back to explore. We're gonna go back into Hovak. And again, I'm gonna try to purchase a leather body. Again, it swears that I equipped it. But we'll go check out our gear. Look at that. Auto-equip works now. So yes. Something funky is going on with the latest IntelliJ. things are not building properly, things are not running properly. Something funky's going on with this new IntelliJ 2025.3 build. I love the aesthetic of it, but the performance is not quite what I want. I do not want to be running a clean build every single time that I build this. Like, that's just frustrating. That is a little frustrating. However, now we can equip, unequip, because we can do a lot more now. So I am gonna go back into my little marketplace here, go back into Hovac, and I'm gonna get myself geared up a little bit now. So in here, we're gonna buy the studded leather chaps. Gonna go back and we're gonna go pop into Lowe's Archery, and we're gonna buy some stuff here. I'm gonna gear myself up because I got money. I'm gonna buy myself an adamant bolts. I'm gonna buy mithril crossbow because that's apparently the best crossbow in there. I'm gonna buy myself a cowl because I like wearing a hat. So now I want to double check to make sure my hero is geared up. So here I can see that I've got my leather cowl, my adamant bolts, studded body, studded chaps, my mithril crossbow. I now have a max hit of 5 and a decent little bit of defense. Cool. So now I can go off, I can explore, and I can fight harder enemies now. So let's try to take on a guard. Let's see what this guard can do against my pure leather studded material. Alright, while this fight happens, I am going to go and top up my coffee cup. I will be back in just a moment. And I came back just in time to see the win. So now we have a way to get to equip. Our auto equip is a little bit smarter now. So whether we pick up items from drops or buy items in store, we will automatically equip the more efficient piece of equipment that our class is set to. So yeah, so there's a toast to that. I'll have that cup of coffee to toast to that. Next, let's see here. So we have some stores, we have some things. I guess we need to add more dungeons, and we need to add more skills. So I guess the next thing that we can plan out is a mining guild inside of Falador. Maybe we'll do the mining guild. We'll stick some dwarves in there to fight, some iron, some tin. What else is in there? Iron, tin, copper. There's coal. I think that's about it. But I suppose the next thing that we can dive on into, I'm perfectly fine with going into the game and maybe it's the engine, model, map. Here we go. And this is going to be more of a dungeon, I think. Is it? Is it classed as more of a dungeon? I guess it is. The mining guild. I think. I don't know. Is it? So, yeah, we'll do this, and I'm just gonna copy paste this into here, and we'll call this mining guild. So we'll do this. I'm gonna fix up the date because today is the 12th. Is it the 10th? 10. So this is going to be the mining guild. Local mobs. There is going to be... There's dwarves in the mine, and I can't remember what else is in that mine, so I'm just gonna say dwarf for now. Doors, boom, rocks. There are some rocks. Neighbors. The only neighboring area is going to be Falador. There is no other dungeons in there. There is, but not right now for us. Campfire is the cooking. Okay. Neighbors. So the next thing we need to do is fill this full of some rocks. Boom, boom. Rocks, new array list. Then we're gonna say copper, tin, iron, and coal. Okay, and this is not right. We need to jump into here, and this is where... oh yeah, I didn't do Edgeville Dungeon either. That's another one I gotta add. So we're gonna come down here, add a new section for the Valley Mining Guild. And this is going to be 24. Copy this guy. Stick you there. Okay. I think that's alright. Now I gotta go into Falador. Oh yes, more stores to add in. These should be listed as a to-do so that I can find them. Neighbors, rocks, dungeon. So if look at that. So that should add mining into Faldor, or the mining guild into Falador. Okay, so now if we... Fuck's sakes. We stop everything. We do ourselves a clean build. Son of a bitch. Sorry guys, I realized that once again I left the Discord thing up. So what I did here was I went in and I created a mining guild file. I named it mining guild. I gave it a dwarf. I gave it a dwarf for an NPC that's in there. I stuck in some rocks. I added Faldor as the neighboring region, and then there are no other dungeons in there at the moment, and I left it as a fire cooking source. So then I went into Faldor's location, and I had, well, I updated these to be to-dos, so they'll show up in my list. But then I came down here to dungeons, and I simply added in the mining guild dungeon. So now, if we come here and we rerun our bot and rerun the back end, we should be able to pop into our bot, go explore, travel around to Baldor. Maybe we gotta go to... Maybe we gotta do some traversing first here. So we gotta travel to Barbarian Village. Now we can go to Faldor. And... it didn't show up. It didn't show up. It didn't show up. Why? Why did this not show up? Let's go take a look. Probably because I'm not using it anywhere. So if I check out this, I have to add regions. So this is what I forgot to do here. So now if we come down and we go into regions, Valley Guild, and we'll add in the Mining Guild. We'll turn this all off again, do another clean build. I really don't like doing this. Okay, now we'll run RuneHero backend. We'll run the bot. And now we'll pop back into our bot itself. Explore. Still don't see any dungeons in Faldor. What am I forgetting? Yeah, has locations or has dungeons is checking to see if have dungeons is empty. Local dungeons. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I really don't like having to do a clean build every frickin' time. That's kind of frustrating. Turn on the bot, turn on the back end. Jump back to my hero, collect my loot. Back into hero, and there it is. Available dungeons. Mining Guild. Now if I hit travel, I have an option at the bottom for Mining Guild. We can pop into the Mining Guild and we can see that we can only fight a dwarf. We can mine specific stuff. And of course we have a campfire. The only thing that we don't have functioning with the campfire is the fact that when a region has only a campfire and we click on cook, we should be checking to see that, well, first off, cook shouldn't be cook. Cook should be light fire. and then we should be able to click on light fire, and if we have a tinderbox and logs, light fire should then change to cook, and we should then have the availability for a campfire. So this is going to be another little feature that we're going to add is campfires, and that'll be probably the next thing that we add. Just got to figure out how to do it. So, getting a campfire. Let's close out of everything up there. So, how do we want to do this campfire? So, I want it to be whenever a region or an area, so whenever a location has a cooking source, so if it has cooking source, clearly the cooking source is not empty. What I want to do, I believe in here I'm using this as cooking source for utilities, yes. But more importantly, I believe I'm using this in bed. Yes. So this here checks to see if they have cooking. Then we're going to add in a cooking button. So the idea here is we're going to expand on this. I don't know how, but we're going to expand on this. Because I need to check the current location, and I want to see if it has this, and if it does have a cooking one, I want to see if somewhere in here I'm initializing whether or not they have campfires. So let's pop into dungeons, mining guild for now, and this has a cooking source of campfire. So getting here as cooking. So this is going to be broken into sort of a method, because I want to check to see first and foremost if the cooking source is an instance of, or if it is campfire, then I want to do something different. So current location dot get available. Oh, I want this. Contains cooking source dot campfire. So here I want to know if I'm cooking with a campfire, because if I am cooking with a campfire, shit. Okay, so what I need to know here is if I think I got to change some things up here, because I need to know if, so if I come into, say, a region that has a campfire, I want to be able to know if said campfire is lit. Because, for example, if I have a campfire and the fire is lit, I want to present the cooking option. Otherwise, if campfire is true and the campfire is not lit, that's when I want to provide a light fire option. So, no, I don't like that. I like the fire one better. Okay, sorry guys, I was just trying to decide on what emoji I wanted to use. So here we are. So here we are. So if the campfire, and I need to do, I need to figure out a way to decide on whether or not it's lit. I'm going to add a new select skill, which is going to be campfire, which is going to be a burn logs button with a flame emoji next to it instead of the cooking with the fire. So the idea here now is I need to make a way to, and I think I need to add to the player profile to add a boolean there. That I might just set and reset. I think that's how I want to go with that. Just do a bunch of sets and resets. Like, I don't know, it's not the cleanest approach, but what I'm trying to achieve here, or what I need to achieve, is I need to know here if the location has a campfire. So I know that. Next, I need to know if we have a campfire and the fire's not lit. Then I want to prompt the option to light the fire. Else, I also want to know if it's a campfire. If it's a campfire, and we have it lit. Maybe I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna do just a straight up else catch down here. So I'm gonna change this to roast. Still going to do the same thing, so I'm going to call it cooking, because it's still going to cook. I'm just going to make it say roast instead of cook. And I'm going to switch this out to something that signifies cooking. There's no Discord emoji for something like roasting a marshmallow or anything, is there? Marshmallow? No. No. Okay, so I'll have to make one for that. Or I'll have to get one made. Alright, so yeah, I need to figure out a way to make it so that I can tell if a player has lit a campfire. Now, I don't know if I think I want to leave that into the region or into the location. because it's not something I care to persist. It's basically only a Boolean or flag that's there so long as the user is inside of the region. Because once you leave it, I don't care if it the campfire disappears. Yeah, I think I'm going to store that in location. I think I'm going to store a Boolean in here. No. What am I doing here? Public Boolean, Boolean, is campfire lit. So I'm just gonna call that is campfire lit and say that it's false. Lit. Okay, so now if we have a campfire in our region and the campfire is not lit, we're going to go ahead and say the option is to burn logs. Else, if the campfire is an option and the location has the campfire lit, then we're going to say roast instead of burn logs or cook. And then, of course, if all else fails, there's no campfire in this area, we're just going to straight up simply say cook. So this should work for the most part, except I would need to make the functionality of the button. But theoretically, if I were to stop these again and do a clean build, I really don't like having to do this clean build shit every single time. That's really frustrating. Alright, so now let's run the bot, or let's run the back end, and let's run the bot. Let's jump back into our Discord to see what this looks like, and if we were to just simply jump to Hero, and then jump into Explore, you'll see that we have a campfire option, and we have a button that says burn logs, and of course when we click on burn logs, it does nothing. So that's cool. So now we have a way to tell if we can light a fire. So what we need to do here is build a now that we have a button, we need to go into our Discord. We need to add another implementation. We need to go into our button listener so that we can tell it that when somebody clicks on select skill campfire button that we're going to do something. All right, so before we dive in and make a new button, I need a little bit more coffee. So if you're like me and addicted to caffeine, I would advise you to take a quick moment and let's recaffeinate and come back before we build on our campfire button. So I will be back in just a moment. Give me about 30 seconds and we'll be back at it. Alrighty, I'm back. Sorry about that. So, if you are new to the stream, welcome and thank you for tuning in. We are building a old school RuneScape Discord bot simulator thing. This is a Discord bot that is inspired by old school RuneScape. The idea is that you can, through the mess of embed messages, you can explore the entire free-to-play map. As of right now, I need to expand into the wilderness and expand into the pay-to-play area. But for now, this bot is you can explore the free-to-play map just by doing different travel actions to travel around to the different areas of the map. You go by nearest region, so you kind of travel around the areas that are nearest you. You can hop on a boat and go to other areas like Karamja, travel through the dungeons there, fish some lobster, those sort of things. You can explore the main areas. You can go through Varrock Sewer, traverse through the sewers, and have at your moss giants. I am going, once I explore into the realm of paid-to-play map, I'm going to be adding in more skills. There's a few different skills that you can train right now, such as, let's take a look. If I jump back to my hero, I'm going to claim that loot. So there's a skills tab where you have your combat-related skills with your defense, your health, your magic, your range, your melee. And then we have a mining skill, a wood cutting skill, fishing, and cooking. Those are the base skills that are in the game right now. There's blacksmithing, which does not work at the moment. I need to add that skill in. That might be our next skill after we do this. Which theoretically I'm technically adding in fire making right now, so that's going to be another skill that's going to need to be added to the menu as well. So yeah, I guess we're adding in fire making today. The ability to light campfires, basically. So that way wood cutting is somewhat useful, and then we can add fletching and whatnot later. However, for now, we are going to continue on being able to be a pyro and light a campfire. Once we're able to light a campfire, then we'll move over to the blacksmithing skill, I suppose, so that we can start smithing. We can add a furnace into Lumbridge and into Varrock and Faldor, so that we can start smithing ores into bars, and then we'll add an anvil so that we can hammer those bars into some useful equipment. Lots of fun stuff going on. This was if you've been here since the beginning, this was a shit show of a stream that started today. Accident after accident after accident. Live stream is wonderful. So if you're just joining me, thank you for watching. It means a lot that you have some interest. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hang out with us and write some code. Alright, so diving back in, we need to create a button that will handle the select skill campfire. So let's get rid of Discord and let's take a look at... I need to slap a to-do on here for myself. If you're wondering why I slap to-dos everywhere, IntelliJ has this great little to-do feature. So if I come up here and if I go down into my to-do list, this actually has a great little way of tracking. So I've got 3 things in here where I need to do something. There's a developer lock so that I can lock this out so that only certain people, so that only like certain guilds are able to access certain commands. I've got embed messages where I want to keep track of just little to-dos. So IntelliJ just has this great little thing where it'll scan your entire project for the to-do tag, and then it will conveniently let you it'll conveniently let you do or like go directly to those to-do lists. So as you can see, I've got a whack of to-dos that are scattered throughout my project, but I like to keep them here so that I can come back and fix this up. Equipment. This is apparently something that I was going to add based on checking to see. Yeah, that never got added. That whole feature never got even like humor. I didn't even humor that idea. All right, so then we have other to-dos. We have to add Taverley in there, Lumbridge Swamp, a few other spots. So yeah, this is just a great little. So I slap to-dos kind of throughout my project so that I can come back later and figure out what to do. So if you're using IntelliJ, make sure you use that to-do tag if you want to come back to it later. And if you wonder why I riddle my stuff with that. So let's go into our button. Where is our, do we have a cook button? No, we don't. Okay, well. We're gonna add a new campfire button, I suppose. Burn logs, burn log button. So that's gonna be our button for burning logs. I'm gonna be super lazy with this, and I'm gonna actually snag this entire thing. Copy, paste. Probably doesn't need all of these, but I'm going to take all of these anyway. All right, so there's that. Next, let's get out of there, clean up that, do this, and we get rid of that. Okay. And of course, this is copy, paste. So there we go. So now we know yada yada yada. So now we're into the player. So this is all of our redundant checks and stuff. So this is up here getting the actual button from the event. If the button itself is null, then we're not going to do anything. It shouldn't be null, but we're just always safe to do a null check. Next, we're grabbing the string. This is the button ID. So this would be this plus Discord ID. So in here, we're going to take this, replace it with an empty string, and then just trim off any white spaces, leaving us with just theoretically the ID number. Now, okay, this is the ID in the item. Okay, so that's a little funky. And that's a little funky. ID as string. This might as well just be ID as string up here. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. So there we go. Okay, so now we're going to get the ID as a string because this is going to remove this and leave just the ID number of the Discord user who clicked on the button. So now we want to see if the ID of the person who clicked on the button matches that of the person who actually, or sorry, the ID of the person the button was generated for matches the person who clicked the button. This is where we're going to handle the logic. Otherwise, we're going to say this is not your interaction to mess with. So in here, we want to do a few things. What do we want to do? We want to, first off, make sure the user has a tinderbox and some logs. We want to make sure the user has a fire making level to burn said logs. And we want to remove, or sorry, calculate a success rate if lit remove log from backpack if lit update location to have a fire. If lit add some experience. Okay. All right. So that's sort of what we want to do, roughly in a nutshell. We want to make sure the user, first off, has stuff to burn. We want to make sure they have the level to burn it. And then we want to calculate a success rate. Because let's face it, you're not always going to be successful in lighting the fire. So we want to calculate the success rate, and of course, if we light it, we want to then remove the item, update the location, and give the person some experience for doing that action. And then, yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to think through here. The only thing I'm trying to think through is the location, and just trying to bat around if this is actually going to work or not. I don't know if that's actually going to work or not, because then because I'm still going to need to check to see some sort of an actual Boolean from the player itself, I think. It's like, I feel like I'm going to need to... Oh, this is going to be wrong. Okay, well, we're going to run with it, and then we'll see if we can fix it when we get there. So, making sure we have logs and tinderbox. So we need to be able to get the player's backpack to see if they have specific items. So, we're going to say RuneHero is going to be equal to a new hero, and we're going to fetch that profile. So we never actually fetch the profile. So now we have a hero. Hero.backpack. We don't have a tinderbox, so we're going to have to add a tinderbox. Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, we don't have a tinderbox. So we're gonna have a new tinderbox. Level requirement is gonna be 1. Value, I don't know, 50 coin. I don't know, maybe 5. I don't know, it's cheap. So there's a new item. Why did its value become 208? Interesting. Interesting that my search feature's not working anymore. Okay, so we're gonna go to page 11. No. Page 10. So there is a tinderbox number ID number 211. Don't know why its value is 208 when I told it its value was going to be 5. I don't even know where 208 came from. But a value of 5, technically. But the number is apparently 211. Six was a knife. 7 doesn't exist. Coffee was 28, was it, or 210? Coffee was 209. Fly fishing rod was 210. And a tinderbox. Tinderbox is 211. Okay. So here we're checking to see if they have a tinderbox, and then I need to figure out if they have logs. So now this is where it gets fun. The logs can be theoretically anything. But we're gonna go into, we have a engine, model, entity, props, trees. Do I not have logs? So trees I have providing logs, but I don't have and this was a poor choice, naming these all with enums. This was something that I sort of regret. I am going to copy paste this, and we're just going to call it logs for now. Now, durability, that's... I'm going to leave that, I suppose. Durability, level requirement, experience gain, sure, and then the log ID that's associated with it. Okay, okay. I'm okay with that for the most part. So now I need to find... Okay, I sort of like that for the time being. We're gonna live with that. So Okay, what I need to do here is I need to come up with a loop that is going to loop over the inventory of the player. Okay. And I need to make comparisons. See if the player, I want to know if the player's inventory contains any of these logs. How do I want to do this? I think what I want to do is just find out if the player has logs. And I need to know if they do have logs. I need to come up and find out if they have more than one type of log. Because if they have more than one type of log, I need to present a select menu so that the player can choose which log they want to burn, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to make a check to see if they have logs. And if they do, how many types of the log they have. Because if they have more than one type in their inventory, I want to present the option and let them choose, hey, I want to burn this log over that log, rather than make some sort of auto choice for them, burning the best log that they have. I might make a setting later on that people can toggle auto burning. But for now, I think I'll keep it simple and make it so that we have a check. Does the player's inventory contain any of these logs? So, let's make a private list of logs. Get player logs. And I'm going to take the backpack in, I believe. What? Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to be able to loop over the backpack to find something like that. So I want to be able to okay, so I'm gonna need a list of IDs first and foremost. So I'm gonna say logs dot values dot I want to do for each log and the value. Equals new array list of integers. Sure. Cool. And now I want to know player's backpack. Get items. Inventory items, I suppose. For each. And I know there's a better way to do this. So for each item in the backpack, if valid IDs contains item dot get item ID, then I want to add that log. What log is that? That's log zzz. That's not going to work. Okay, so that should return a list of items. I feel like this could be, yeah, that could be a lot, could be done up as a collect. So we'll do this, we'll map these to that, and then we will collect those. And then down here, I feel like that could also be a collect. Yes, okay, so now we're gonna filter over these and then collect them. That looks a lot better. There we go, that's a lot better. That is better, and technically, I don't need to take the backpack in, I just need to take in a list of items. And just be done with it. Okay. Items. So that's going to return a list of available logs. So Okay. We're going to be getting out of here with all this that I planned. And we're going to take the available logs. I want to make sure the list is bigger than 0. You know, make sure it's not empty. So, right off the hop, if so, here's where we're going to then tell the player you don't have any logs to burn. I feel like we should separate that, and that should be that, and then up here should be if they don't have a tinderbox. Oh. So if you don't have a tinderbox, we're going to say, hey, you need a tinderbox, make it a private message. Otherwise, we're going to say, hey, you don't have any logs to burn, to make it a private message. Otherwise, now moving forward, we know we have a tinderbox and we have logs. So the idea here is to now burn something, technically. Now, if I want to make this just simple, I would just burn like the first available log that they have. Or I would loop through each of the logs to see if they have a level requirement. See if they have a level requirement to do this, but we don't even have a check yet for that. Technically, our skills, I think, are... Okay, so I have nothing as far as fire making goes. Or did I just call this something wrong? Getting skill names. Blacksmith. So I don't. Cooking, blacksmithing. And I got Slayer, farming, crafting, herblore, agility, prayer, fletching. Yeah, it turns out that I do not. I do not have a fire making skill. Interesting. I thought I did. Interesting. Turns out I don't. Okay. So... Okay, so we're looking for... I guess I'm going back into the skill utility too, because I gotta add this here. Okay, so that adds that. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, where else was I adding? so that should set fire making, should set up fire making skills and yada yada. Okay. The burning log button should take care of this to there, and then I gotta go through for there. Okay. To do. Okay, so next to do here is, before I forget, I should probably mark this out. It. Oh. Oh, what should I do here? I'm debating here, I'm running in my head design ideas, and if I want this to be, I want to go, like, I feel like I should go as far as making it so that people can choose what they want to burn. So I feel like this is the point where I should be making a string select menu and populating it with one of each of the logs. And then handling that so players can select the log that they want to burn and then have it, of course, burn. Because I do want this to be set up so that if the player has a campfire, or if the region has a campfire burning already, I want the player to be able to essentially bonfire, is what I'm going to call it. But I want the player to be able to continuously throw logs on a fire, so to speak, until they run out. So that is a feature that I want to add after campfires are a thing. But I need to figure out, do I want to do this, or do I want to just take the first? There's a part of me that just wants to take the first log that the player has the level to burn, or the highest level that they have to burn. I'm just debating on how I want to do it. If I want to do it here, if I want to do it, because like it's going to be a recursive check to see if for each log, what is the highest, like what is the level to burn? Does the player have this? Does the player have the level to burn the log? If yes, cool. Store that as the best log, and then check the next one and see if it's higher than the previous. If it is, check if they have the level. If they do, make that the new best log, and so forth, until we reach the point that we either have run out of logs or we don't have a level to burn. Because it is going to be a recursive search one way or the other. What is the best way to do this? think I might just give the user the option to choose. Then we'll check and see if they have the level. Okay, so we have the list of available logs. Okay, so see, now I need to be careful what I do here because Discord select menus don't let you put the same one in twice. So for example, now I have a list of available logs that I can burn. I need to make sure that okay. Because this is going to look through and say, okay, I have a regular log. Cool. Let's add it. This is going to pull in just the valid ID logs that I can actually work with. This one's going to pull in all of my items and see that I have, say, 2 normal logs. This one's going to say, okay, first item, normal log, valid ID, it works, add it to the list. Then it's going to say, next one, normal log, valid item, add it to the list. Now I have 2 items, or now I have an item. Basically, I need to remove duplicates. I can't have more than one of the same thing. So it's almost like I need to check to see if the items list that we're building contains duplicates. How do I want to handle duplicates? Because if I could handle it here, I won't need to keep track of it up top. If this can just return me a list without duplicated IDs. Okay. Wow, okay. Alright, so my day is about to sort of take off and start. This was a rough go to the stream. I am going to call it quits for today. I'm I'm only doing so because my wife's about to wake up and the day's about to start, and I'm about to start doing my stuff. So that's all sorts of crooked. There we go. All kinds of crooked today, guys. So, all right, I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to tomorrow. We'll pick up some more RuneHero fun. I might do a little digging later on today. Depends on how my day goes. But I do want to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to join me on this adventure as we work on our RuneHero bot. If you would like to play the bot, by all means, you can join my Discord. There is a link in the description. You can jump into the Bot Zone channel and feel free to register an account and start playing my hero, or start playing with my hero. If you want to join me on this development mission, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notification when I go live. I try to go live daily. My health kind of lets me depend on that. Throughout the week, when I go live, we'll be working on different projects, such as RuneHero or whatever else I happen to be working on that week. If you join me in Discord, I tend to be working on random projects, private projects, personal things all throughout the day. I also provide consulting. If you've made it this far, make sure to hit that like button, as it helps us reach other developers. And as always, keep your curiosity open, your skills sharp, and that coffee cup full. And I will catch you in the next one, guys.